What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Smark Show, episode number 10. We made it to 10 episodes, somehow.
Woo! Number
Somewhat.
10.
Technically 11, because we did the offshoot Out of Nowhere podcast.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Anyway, I'm Nick Tricombe.
Mike Cap.
I'm Mike Cap.
Fuck you.
Nah, I'm Steve Herman. What's up, wrestling fans?
Yeah. Double digits, baby.
Yeah. Someone's a little excited.
Well, it's actually convenient that I used that goal horn at the top of the show. First of all, that's a Senators goal horn. Well, it was last year. I don't know if they changed it for this year, but anyway,
Listen, you goddamn Canadian spy. This is not a hockey podcast.
This is WWE podcast.
Well, listen.
No Senators talk.
Yo, Mark Stonebow.
He's good.
No goddamn Senators talk. Let's get into wrestling.
All right, fine. Anyway, so the goal horn, it uses Adam Rose's song.
Yeah.
And apparently at the live show in Mexico, he apparently suffered an injury. Fandango kicked him in the head.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that, actually.
What a shame. Two of WWE's top workers.
It's...
Oh, my.
It sucks because, like, I actually did like Adam Rose.
Yeah, I don't mind Adam. I take that back. I don't mind Leo Kruger. I do not like Adam Rose.
If Adam Rose was given a better character, he's actually not a bad worker. He's just not given a good amount of TV time. He was with a damn bunny.
You could say that about 90% of the people on their roster.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying he should be given a better chance, especially with that ESPN special on E30.
Yeah.
E60, my fault. That was a perfect time to execute with that.
I feel like there's been like a million things like that in the past couple months where like they just had like these like big things outside of wrestling that they just did, like Cody Rhodes' dad dying, Dusty Rhodes. Like that was like, you know, if you wanted a goddamn like lightning face right there
it is.
Yeah, he comes out as Cody Rhodes. The crowd's already been chanting Cody at him when he Stardust, so he already has like the little Cody chant that everyone's going to be doing when he's a face. And you could have booked him as whatever IC champ, build him back up to the main event, but no.
Nah, they didn't.
And Adam Rose, there's another one.
I mean, all speculation led to he probably had a concussion. He did tweet that he was fine. It just, like I said, it sucks because I do like the guy. I did like his gimmick at first, but then it kind of wore thin with the whole bunny thing, and now there's...
Really good guy outside the ring.
Yeah, and now there's rumors that the bunny could be coming back too. And it's just like, his gimmick now, I don't...
Remember when everyone thought it was going to be Sami Zayn?
I would have cried.
Yeah.
I would have hated that. That would have redeemed all of it. But like I said, even the party gimmick itself, I didn't mind it that much. I actually kind of liked it from time to time.
I wasn't excited about when they were showing all the promos, like when they were coming around with him and Bo. The Bo ones were hilarious, but the Adam Rose ones I was not too hyped for. Especially,
it was okay.
I like the Leo Kruger character a lot, so to see him not be that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I just think the bunny aspect of it was just horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, to just kind of explain how this show is going to go, we're recording this on a Sunday night, pretty late at this point, to just kind of recap what already happened, since, you know, by the time tomorrow night we're on to the next Raw already, and it's a big one with the
Lesnar Austin podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Plus Eagles.
Yeah, so sorry, we're all busy at different times here, so
yeah. Yeah, we had a hard time finding a night this week where we could all get into one room. But we're here now.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here for you guys.
Yeah, Smark Show subscribers, thank you.
This is for you.
We're up
this
to
is for
13
you, 13 subscribers.
Yeah, thank the lucky 13.
Yeah, no, you guys are awesome. Thanks. We can
enjoy the comments
continue
too.
To thank you, and say how much we appreciate that. That's really awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But just kind of moving on. You mentioned Steve Austin. There's been some confusion.
What's going on about
what's going? All right. Well, the podcast is definitely a go. That's
that's
no matter
definite.
what. But we actually talked about this a couple weeks ago when all the details about the Go to Hell tour got announced. He was also booked, or at least advertised, to be on that Raw with Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, and now he's not being advertised for it on WWE.com, and he also told a fan that he wasn't even booked for it. So I don't know if this could be like a work on the WWE's part to create a surprise, or if it was just bad scheduling or advertising or miscommunication.
If this was old WWE, and old WWE, this wouldn't have happened because there wasn't a lot of Twitter and stuff around back then.
There was no
However,
internet.
There was no internet.
If this was old
No,
WWE,
scrap that. There was internet, but the tagline for that site was "Download this."
Right.
We were still in that point in internet history.
But if this was old WWE and something like this leaked out, I would assume that it was a work and the guy's going to come out. But today,
He's not.
yeah,
He's not coming.
today I don't see it happening. I
But,
would love it. Don't get me wrong.
When I think it was
discount
miscommunication when they advertised him, honestly. And maybe they were like, oh, maybe Austin will be on, so let's watch and maybe get the viewers up for 1 week, you know?
Yeah, that's more likely than anything, especially with the
Exactly.
ratings,
Right.
how they are right now.
Keep plummeting, you know?
Yeah, they dipped lower.
Yep, they dipped again.
Which
And what have they changed?
Nothing.
well, this is record
Let's
lows
just
now.
book
Oh, this is getting worse.
What's the fix? Let's just get more old people to come back because that's what everybody wants.
And the Bells winning is best
Yeah,
for business, guys.
They're ridiculous.
Well, no, this is to the point where I'm wondering, what is going to happen tomorrow night? Because
I don't know.
I don't think anything,
It seems
honestly.
like,
but
I mean, this is me being, as negative as I possibly can, and I know I am, but I just, with their past decisions, it leads me to believe this. And hear me out here for a second. Does it seem like they do things to spite fans? Like you see,
yeah.
you see backstage, you see Triple H say it a lot. We'll be like, oh, fans don't know how to book this, book that, blah blah blah. Who are the people the fans want to see more than like anybody else right now? 3 people,
Slater Push.
probably
Cesaro?
realistically, Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, and Dean Ambrose. Those are probably the 3 biggest regular working faces on the company. What are all 3 of them doing right now? Absolutely nothing of importance.
Kevin Owens would be another one, too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And Kevin Owens is a heel. I'm saying faces.
Oh, faces. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Like, what are they doing with them? Ziggler comes out.
Well, Cesaro's the biggest one.
Ziggler comes out on Raw, and he hits Cena with everything in his goddamn arsenal, and of course Cena kicks out. And he hits him with modified moves of his, too, that would have taken out anyone else in the company. Cena kicks out. Cesaro comes out and jobs out to whoever he's fighting anymore after he got himself red hot, and what the hell's Ambrose doing? He's fighting some throwaway stupid tag match, and then he's fighting
like
Orton.
the 3rd one in a row tag
Yeah,
match or
come
something.
on. Like, what do you get? Like, but anyway,
Slater Push.
what I was saying, it seems like they do these things to spite fans. Like, if you go online, if you're a WWE producer or whatever, and you go on any WWE website or tune into the Smark Show,
Exactly. Good plug there, Mike.
yeah, you would see fans almost unanimously saying, "I want to see." Cesaro as a U.S. champ or something like that. But no, they'll make it Big Show. It seems like they just do things just to piss us off.
Like the one I was saying before, it's your obviously Lesnar and Taker headlining this thing. Why not have Cesaro fight Rollins for the title? He's not probably going to win, but that could be a more interesting feud than this Seth Rollins Kane feud that we have right now.
This,
you know what I mean?
This WWE corporate, not the authority on the show. I'm talking about actual WWE.
Kevin
they should
Dunn.
be on the show. They should be the heels of the show because the real heels barely piss us off anymore. It's whatever. I don't even know if Steph and Triple H are heels or faces.
Yeah, we always talk about
Kane,
that every
the same
week.
thing. But if you want to really get the fans pissed at someone, have Dunn come out there and Vince McMahon and just be like, oh, so we have all this gold in front of us, and
Kevin
we're just
Dunn-
gonna shit all over it and put it on TV.
Kevin Dunn looks like a chipmunk, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that hateful tirade, it just seems like they just go out of their way to make us angry for no reason other than to not admit that we know what we're talking about.
Even Stephanie did it recently with the Nikki Bella title reign too, because what AJ said this past year as well. They just want to get revenge, and make the fans. It
feels like it's run by middle schoolers sometimes with how much backstage politicking goes on.
High school, you can go anywhere. Yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah, they just don't know. I don't know if they don't know how to book anymore, or if if they're doing it intentionally. But it's they're just burying people for no reason.
Well, that and just
speaking of which too, Lana and Rusev actually getting
another
married in
one,
real life. How dare you do that now?
Yeah,
We're dropping this whole storyline between Rusev and Summer Rae because you had to get married now. That's a thing that apparently happens. Vince is mad about people getting married.
About people's real lives, outside the business. Another thing,
Yeah,
but it's not even just bad booking as well. it's just like the storylines just are complete ass.
I can't. What storyline? What storyline?
Well, you know what I mean. That's what I mean. There's no
Yeah.
storyline. That's what I meant.
So I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
They're like, what's the storyline between Kevin Owens and Ryback right now? Why are they fighting? Oh, well, one of them has the belt and the other one doesn't.
One has a rematch clause. That's
Yeah.
pretty much the
it's
reason.
real fun. Yeah, let's have
No
Ryback.
promos between the two or anything.
Yeah.
Backstage segments. Maybe do something, something different.
Even like this horrible, what feels like 3 years long now, Barrett versus Neville and like, whatever. Like, when that first started, I was like, on our first couple episodes, I was praising them. I was like, I like this slow burn with Neville. Go ahead, Nick.
That rivalry's just been pretty much just matches.
Yeah,
there hasn't been a lot of talking.
That's what I've been saying.
There's
yeah.
no storyline. Like they always boast about. Like, you watch like the WWE documentaries, and like we have this great writing staff that's composed of everyone from
Hollywood writers,
soap opera writers to Big Bang Theory writers to ex wrestlers. Well, clearly they're not working because they're not working. They're not putting out stories.
Trim it down. The
Like,
writers,
I don't know what they're doing.
It feels like the only thing that's really going right now is the New Day. They just keep going up and up and up. But the thing is with them, when you watch them, you just get the impression they're doing this entirely themselves. They just have the keys to the car and they're just going.
Oh yeah, they're hilarious.
Yes,
and
well, you could see the difference obviously.
Yeah,
from certain promos with Roman Reigns or like a Seth Kane promo or something,
But like that, I mean, and we're spitballing here. We don't actually know if this isn't all scripted, but I mean, just judging by the three guys and the talent and their history in the WWE and who they are outside, it's pretty safe to say that they're coming up with most of the material themselves.
Yes.
However, I mean, look at that. These guys come out, they do whatever they want, what they think's best for their character, and they're insanely over, even though they're heels. Roman Reigns, they gave him all the scripted crap material going into WrestleMania and post-Mania, and he was absolute garbage.
He was horrible.
He comes out and starts doing what Roman Reigns is best to do. Come out, I'm going to kick your ass, and then a match happens, and everyone's happy
great.
with him again.
Yeah.
It seems like when they get involved with wrestlers, they just go right down the tubes. Like, would you guys agree with that? Like,
I was feeling pretty good going into this past week's Raw too, with Ambrose opening up the show.
Yeah,
I was feeling pretty good because he was absent.
Well, something different, by the way.
Two. And, here he is to start off the show. It's like, oh, awesome. They're going to do something with Ambrose. And, after it faded to black, after the show faded to black, I was like, oh, I don't know what they're doing now.
yeah.
I remember, I don't know if this is...
Maybe that could be a good thing, though. Maybe they surprise people, but...
I remember I was on the show, or was off the show. I remember talking, like, Ambrose needs more of a, like, main event role on this show. Like, Reigns and Rollins get that opportunity all the time to talk or have a lot more segments than they do. Ambrose is only on for, like, one segment. And Ambrose is one of the top guys in this company.
Look at Ambrose when he was feuding with Seth Rollins. Yeah. He came out to, like, white-hot reactions from the crowd every single time he came out because, they were giving him something to work with.
Exactly.
And even that, they weren't even giving him a story, but they were letting him come out and do what he does best. And they just suck, dude. That's all I can muster up.
Here's the thing, because it's such a large company. There's so many voices in that writer's room. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because, you need to get all these people on the same page. Maybe it's a case of too many cooks in the kitchen.
There's too many writers in this company.
You're just kind of at a stalemate right now, but...
Well, then you have... Like Vince, you have this writing staff who I personally think are horrible. So, but whatever. You have a writing staff. You have to use them. You're paying these guys to write for you.
These guys have their jobs for a reason.
Yeah.
That's why I want to think there's a reason that these people are hired.
There has to be
they
a
have
diamond.
Something
there has to be a diamond in the coal. But anyway, you have all these writers. They come up with these stories or whatever, and they might be good. But then it goes to Vince McMahon, and then he makes the changes that he wants. You can't do that. Like, you have to have an outline, or you have to just let them go. You can't mix it together and then add another person's opinion on top of these. You get 20 people. All right, 20 people finally got together and they got something for Ambrose. Now it goes to Vince McMahon. And then he's got to get, put his spin. It's just like...
The other thing I'm tired of, too, is, every feud's got to go 3 months or more.
Yeah.
Why can't you just have a feud for a month or, maybe a month and a half and then, have them fight someone else? Especially if it's a title... match. I'm saying, but if it's a certain other feud, you can go a little longer. But
Yeah,
Every
well-
other feud's like 3 months.
Well, that's the difference. Back in the day, a feud was a feud. Like
Yeah.
Hogan and Macho Man had a feud. Like
Yeah.
they
It
had
went throughout the year.
They had a personal reason as to why they hate each other. Triple H and The Rock. You still see, they're both decades, a decade after their prime, and The Rock comes back, at the end of last year for
Yeah.
SmackDown, and that feud, like the tension was still right
Yes.
there, just boiling underneath the surface. Edge and Matt Hardy, like
Austin McMahon.
Yeah, there's so many great old like rivalries because they actually gave them something to work with. Now it's like, hey, you did something mean to me one night on Raw. Now we have to fight for the next 90 days.
Yep.
Like, why? And then once we're done fighting for that 90 days, we will ignore that each other exists, and we will not ever mention our past history again when we move. 2 months after our feud's over, we'll be tag teaming and fighting against someone just because we're both heels. Or,
Yeah.
It's just lazy.
It is really lazy, honestly. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but just agree with you with the stuff you've been saying.
Yeah, like if I don't know, I can. There's 100 different ways they can approach it, but you can't approach it with all 100 ways. You have to choose one of them and go with it.
Yeah, totally.
And they just seem to be mixing the pot way too much anymore.
I couldn't agree more.
Man, 16 minutes in, we really did a lot of complaining already.
I mean, that's just the way the company's been this past couple months.
You look at these ratings, and how can you not expect us to? And if people don't complain, they're not going to listen.
Exactly. That's perfect.
Clearly, at this point, even the ratings aren't making them change things because
No.
they have that guaranteed corporate money that they're getting from their sponsors and all their toy sales and whatever. So their ratings don't even seem to really mean shit to them
And
anymore.
the thing that pisses me off is like, oh, well, our ratings are low because of Monday Night Football. Well, back then in the Attitude Era, Monday Night Football was still around.
Yep.
And the ratings were still high. The ratings can still be high in this company. They're just not putting the time and effort for it.
Monday Night Football isn't even what it used to be either.
But you know what I mean, though? But the ratings for football still go high.
I
And,
agree.
But that shouldn't be an excuse for WWE, you
No.
know?
Well,
not at all.
If you're a company making a product like that, you shouldn't have any excuses.
Exactly.
Anything that happens is your fault, and you got to fix it.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football's there. Monday Night Football's not going to go away. So if
Never.
Monday Night Raw doesn't go away, you got to come up with a way to compete with football. Clearly, they're not doing it right now.
And clearly they were able to do that a long time ago.
Yeah, and that's what we said. Look back to those times. Half the feuds we just mentioned were from that time.
Yes.
Because you gave these wrestlers something true to work with, and they just don't care anymore.
Yeah, they really don't.
They have that guaranteed. It seems like they have that guaranteed check coming in. The TNA is not an actual rival to them. ROH is nothing to them. New Japan. None of these companies are really a threat to
If anything,
WWE. So they're
ROH
complacent.
I mean, I don't want to make ROH this because it is its own show. It's its own company. But ROH is almost kind of like a farm system for them in some ways. I mean, you've seen people make the jump from them over to there.
There's been a lot of
NXT.
them.
There's what was the name of the company? They
Evolve?
just linked. They just linked up.
Because Sami
with
Zayn was there.
Yeah, they linked up with Evolve. He's making his first appearance back in like an indie wrestling.
Yeah, he did this
scene.
past weekend, yeah.
But apparently WWE's trying to work out an agreement with them, essentially to farm talents from the.
Wrestling company.
And there you go. I mean, we've been shitting on their creative and whatever, but hats off to them for doing that.
That's awesome.
That's great. Look what happened when they did ECW. Look how many gems we got from ECW.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Rhino, Tommy Dreamer. Like, there's so many of them.
Another one, Al Snow. I mean, he's not the best one in the world, but he had a great gimmick, you know?
Yeah.
That's just all
So
those
yeah,
ECW
hats off
products.
to them
Yeah.
for that. But,
And I mean,
once
you
you
can see that same effect happening now in NXT.
Yeah.
As soon as one guy goes up to the main roster, another
Someone
one
comes up.
in.
Once you have those guys on the main roster, though, do something with them.
Yes.
Don't make them the Ascension. Don't make them Bo Dallas. Don't make them whatever. Like, just do something.
Emma, when she was there.
Do something with them. Don't just bring them up just because they're a hot commodity in NXT and then completely shit all over their character on the main roster. And, we gave you...
you got to jump out to the big show.
We gave you a 2-minute match in which you had to lose to Ryback for 4 months in a row. You didn't get over with the crowd. Send back to NXT. Like, who can possibly do anything with that?
You can't.
Well, we talked about Seth Rollins before, but we were talking before we started recording for this show especially, that they haven't done too great a job booking him as champion either.
Yeah, I've gotten this argument with a million people. I don't know how you guys feel about
I'm
it.
iffy with it. I
No,
mean,
my thing is, I just want to establish first and foremost, I'm not calling Seth Rollins a bad champion because I think he can be...
Yeah, lay down...
He is a really good heel champion.
Lay down the foundation. Seth Rollins, in my opinion, I don't know about the two of you, has the appeal, like the work at everything. If he was booked the same way, he could be the next Shawn Michaels.
He's your
100%.
guy.
I do not even slightly would not agree.
I
with
think
that.
he has,
and he's more healthy.
I think he's more of a comparison to Shawn Michaels than people say with Dolph Ziggler. But that's just my opinion.
I agree too. I'm
Yeah.
the biggest.
I think it's changed throughout
I'm
this
the
year,
biggest Ziggler
especially.
homer
I think
there
the
is,
Dolph
but I
Ziggler
agree.
comparisons are more because of his look.
Right.
And the
than
he
anything.
work style too, but overall,
But I think with Rollins, it's
charisma and
yeah.
everything, Rollins has the more complete.
Especially with
package.
this past year, too.
But anyway, like we're saying, look at on paper, look at what Rollins has done.
Yeah.
He has taken Brock Lesnar out. He survived Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose on multiple occasions, Randy Orton. He survived all this stuff, but
Cena, Sting.
there you go. He survived. He didn't. What did he win? He survived. He kept the belt. He didn't win in any empathetic fact. What did he win? 2 of his matches clean out of the past 12.
Yeah, I feel like Rollins has had some really good moments in his matches, but then there's some matches like what we said before, like come on, like there should have been a finish to like that Lesnar Rollins match at Battleground.
But that goes to say like how we start this. This is not Rollins' fault.
No, no.
Bracing for the shitstorm. I am a full supporter of Seth Rollins, and if he has any even slightly competent writing staff or booking staff with him, that dude is the face of your company for the next 20 years if you wanted him to be.
Yes.
However, he does not have a competent writing staff or booking staff, and he's just treated like garbage. Everyone's like, oh, well, these are all the people he beat, like I just named, or, oh, he's been the champion for this long. But just because you're the champion for that long doesn't mean shit. Look at Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
She's the longest running Divas champion of all time. Who cares?
Right.
Seth Rollins has this belt for such a long time. He's beaten these people, but when you look back and you be like, oh, during this run, the so-and-so beat this dominant person, that adds to their resume. Can you really look back and be like, yeah, Seth Rollins destroyed Brock Lesnar? Like, it didn't happen.
Well,
yeah.
Didn't happen with anyone that he beat, really, except for Dean Ambrose. Like, an Ambrose beat himself.
Granted, for Lesnar, there's a certain situation with him because of the Taker streak, and he can't really be pinned right now. They want to keep him strong.
In general, yes.
But yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah.
You can't have your champion come out there and just lose. Like, just lose, and then when the pay-per-view comes around...
It's nice to see it once in a while, but not all the time.
When the pay-per-view comes around, someone wins the match for him or his opponent loses for himself, and Rollins just is there to pick up the win. He's not winning. He's there to grab it when it happens.
He did beat Sting, though. The last pay-per-view. Granted, he was hurt, and it was clean. It was a clean win, but... He did lose, but then again, he loses to Cena that night, though. I was going
to say, there's an asterisk, because that night he loses to Cena. And again, things I'm 60 years old,
Yeah. But
I know in wrestling...
Just wrestling terms, just realize it's Sting, yes. You got... I try not to realize the age sometimes.
But that goes along with what I was saying. On paper, this Rollins run looks great. Like when you're a booker or whatever, a writer, you have all these people like, oh, wow, Seth's really going to be over. But then when you get into the weekly bookings and between pay-per-views and whatever, he just looks
garbage.
like crap. Yeah. He just looks like a scared kid who's only holding the belt because Triple H and Seth McMahon want him to hold the belt at this point.
Right.
If he didn't have Triple H and Seth McMahon, he would not have the belt right now. He wouldn't even have Money in the Bank.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, Seth's working with it. To give him credit.
Yeah, he really is.
As I said, Seth. This is not a drag on Seth.
Nope.
And like I said, you're a lot more negative toward the writing staff than I am, but I do. Like I said, I do want to give him like the slight benefit of the doubt. We're not happy with what's going on right now, but I'm sure there's more to it than what we're imagining.
Well,
but it's been like this though for a couple years now.
It's not like this is like, this month the ratings have dropped down, or like we keep saying, and that's the plight of the wrestling fan. I think the ratings, you just hope for something
like
to happen.
Even like for Mania this year, the build to it was not good. And it was horrible. One of the worst builds of WrestleMania.
Mania was good because of the competitors in Mania. It wasn't anything to do with booking or
that in the writing. Every pay-per-view. Can we say when we watch them, guys, like, the matches are always pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's the damn storylines that are not good.
Or the conclusions to the matches.
Well, exactly.
Let me put it a different way. I don't think the writing staff was, intentionally setting it up this way. Where, I don't think they...
What, for who?
No, where they meant
just in
overall, to set up a situation where the ratings are just going down and down and down.
Yeah.
But I think that's the results of just, the past few years worth of missteps.
These aren't just missteps anymore, though.
It's not. Especially with the ratings being this low since, 97?
If last year was a dominant year in wrestling, okay, I'll give it to them. They have slip-ups, but, when have they been slipping up since? 2010? Yeah, but I'm sure it's not the
the way that I can best put it is what we're seeing on screen is just laziness, and I don't want to think it's laziness, but like
At the end of
it
the
sure
day, yeah.
feels that way.
It really is laziness. I mean, when you think about it.
It just seems. I mean, I've said it a million times already. It just seems like they're very complacent in where they are as a company,
Yeah.
and they don't have any threats. That's what made the Attitude Era so great. I hate being one of those douchebags who always brings up the Attitude Era every time. But I mean,
But it's the best era in
Yeah.
wrestling history when you think about it.
It's just when they
It's hard
wanna,
not to.
when they want to put effort backstage into something, WWE can be gold. And as we said on here before, the roster and the wrestlers that they have right now can set it up to be gold. But
Yeah.
if everyone's not working on the same, firing on the same cylinder, it's not going to happen.
It's just weird because we've brought up the contrast before, but there's Raw and then there's NXT, which is just a completely different product. There's also SmackDown too, but we've said before that's more to service as a recap show for
yeah.
Raw. It's done a bit more to deviate itself a little bit, but at the same time, what happens on that show still has little impact on what's going on moving forward.
Yeah, until it moves to USA Network.
And I was talking about this before went on. I'll start with NXT. NXT, one of the most beautiful things about NXT is how it utilizes past wrestlers and whatnot in their storylines.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's more like it seems like the writing staff or whatever is like trying to prove themselves. They're trying to like I don't know, almost like the competitors in NXT. They want that bump up to Raw. And on Raw, it just seems like just old wrestlers and people who are just so out of touch with the product anymore that like they just put out garbage. I mean, I don't know how many times we can say it. 24 minutes in or 26.
Yeah, but
Do you think it might be an appeal thing too? Because I remember reading a quote from Triple H about his conference call for the company, where he said, Raw is more like pop music where it has to appeal to everyone, and NXT is more like metal, classic rock stuff where it has more of a niche to it.
And okay, you said that, and it sounds great on paper, but who's Raw appealing to? It's not, because the ratings are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I heard-
but,
I get, in theory, that
get-
makes absolute 100% sense what Triple H just said. However, the execution is not there because it's not appealing to the mainstream crowd.
It's one of those things where, all right, let me explain it this way. Remember how crazy the Nintendo Wii was a few years back, where people
couldn't
who
even
didn't
get it in the stores.
People who didn't even care about video games wanted a Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
It was, but after a while, there were just really garbage games on it and stuff, because it basically became the system where, for a while, it seemed like Nintendo forgot, who the people. Forgot who their core audience was. It feels like that same situation with Raw right now, where they're kind of like they're failing to capture the core audience. Like you gotta start there.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Expand out.
You can't just target little kids and corporate members, because they're not the ones who are going to be on forums. Bitch, they're not us.
Yeah.
We're a perfect example right
Yes.
here. We're young 20-something guys. That's generally the biggest audience to wrestle.
I was reading a report on Raw for the average viewer, 40 years old.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's interesting.
There you go.
Look at your ratings. Enjoy.
That's
Yeah.
why the ratings are so low.
And again, I mean, there's nothing we can do. If they're complacent in where they are, there's nothing we can do
We
as fans but just hope that they're
People-
not complacent in the future.
Maybe
But-
people start unsubscribing to the network, or I don't know. It's just bland at this point.
But and that's where they have us hook, line, and sinker.
Exactly.
Because as much as we just bitched about this for the past half hour,
Yes.
none of us will cancel our WWE
I know.
subscription. And that's, as I was saying, that's the plight of the
so
wrestling fan. You sit through all the crap, and you just hope at the end of the day there's just something good there.
like
You
when
still
like
believe.
when Seth Rollins won the title this year.
yeah, it was
like that.
just so much garbage. Just please let something good happen at the
Exactly.
end of it. And we just got to hope that a lot of good happens moving in.
I just want the Rumble to come up. Honestly, I just want that baby
Yeah.
to happen.
Also, shout out to Nintendo Wii. Even to this day, almost 10 years after the fact,
Yeah.
Wii Sports Baseball is still all kinds of hype.
Yeah, that is.
yeah.
I agree. That is an awesome game.
But yeah, and
What other headlines do we got here?
Yeah.
Before we go off the deep end, because I can shit on Raw
Yeah,
for
for
an
like-
hour and a half. So
Well, I do
Probably
want to
more
say
than
one thing. I don't know how clearly the Nintendo Wii example explained things.
I think
So
it's pretty good.
I thought it was actually pretty good too.
Yeah.
Nick.
but for anyone listening,
One of the most
that-
competent things you've ever said.
Yes, Nick.
they're few and far between. But yeah, if people for those who are listening, if you if my explanations sound like complete gibberish, just call me out on it and I'll try to work on that. But yeah, so Hulk Hogan said more stuff. Not bad stuff. It's more, I would love to do one more match in WWE.
More match.
Really, Hogan? I'd love to wrestle a match in the WWE too.
That's
That's not going to happen either. So.
Yeah, that's completely
Not happening, Hogan.
That's next to impossible at this point, just because of what he said recently in the past few months.
Go hang out in TNA, buddy.
Not what he said, but what he said that was recorded that came out in the past few months. And also just because of the point he's in, age-wise and endurance-wise.
I mean, he can't even hit the leg drop anymore, really, can he? Doesn't he have, like, 2 surgically repaired knees?
And
like,
a back surgery. But even if he came back, it would be for an appearance. No, I'm just saying, if he came back, it's just for appearance for Raw.
Even when he comes back for the Raw appearances, like, he wears his welcome within the first 5 minutes of him being back and saying brother 100 times.
Yeah.
This was in an interview with the UK Star, by the way. And he even said himself, it would have to be a very calculated thing, something that all sides would really have to have a handle on, because he cannot do the downtime or the surgery again. But
and speaking of douchebags in WWE's history, Hulk Hogan right there.
All right, yeah.
If he needs all these things that need to happen for him to work, just judging by everything that most wrestlers have said about him, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people.
Probably wants to win the match too.
There's probably not going to be a lot of
next
people.
Next
Not
headline.
a lot of people are going to bend over backwards.
The Macho Man wrote entire songs about how much he dislikes Hulk Hogan.
Like 20 years after they feuded too. That's so funny.
It's amazing.
We were just listening over at my cousin's house to one of the Macho Man songs the other night.
Are you serious?
Yeah, when it came out like 2003, and he's like, the whole song was about how much he just hates Hulk Hogan.
Oh my
It's
god,
like, dude, you haven't wrestled him for like 17 years. Like, what are you doing, Macho?
It's awesome though.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's fantastic.
Shout out to Steve Fines, if you're listening to this one. Whenever we drive in that dude's car, he just always has the Macho Man CD playing. It's great.
Oh man, that's awesome. For sure.
Yeah. Also, Hogan's restaurant in South Beach closed, so
It's getting rebranded.
it's getting rebranded.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I get that. We already talked about Rusev and Lana's engagement a little bit. I don't know if you have anything more to say about that.
Did we talk about it?
Yeah.
That they
Vince
dropped the
was
whole
pissed,
storyline.
Oh,
on
yeah,
Al Spite.
Yeah.
But
Congratulations to them. Yeah.
Congrats.
Well, let's just say, Rusev, you are one lucky man.
Yeah,
Lana, you were one lucky woman.
Oh my god, yes.
Beefy thighs.
Yes, the ravishing Russian.
Oh,
The beautiful Lana.
Yeah.
That's,
Whatever. Not wrestling news. Hats off to you guys.
Great job, Lana.
Yeah.
I also want to bring up too, now since we're on the topic of marriages, Cena's match with Ziggler. They stopped the match so Cena can call out a wedding proposal.
I actually forgot about that. That was actually kind of cool.
That was funny.
That was a nice spot by Cena. That was cool, actually.
Yo.
No, but he has Ziggler in a hold, and I don't know who told who that Ziggler was going to roll out. Maybe Cena did it.
Yeah, he probably did.
But he's showing you just during the match, everyone starts going, yes, yes, yes. And, Ziggler rolls out and seems like, give me your mic. He's like, you got a marriage proposal over here. Congratulations to you, good sir.
Yeah, that was,
And then they just
that
go
was
right
cool.
back to what
That's
they're
what
doing.
we hate on Cena a lot on this show, but that's what Cena's good for, that, fresh baby face company stuff. Like, that's cool. The rest of this match I'm not happy with. However, that moment, good job, Cena.
Yeah, for sure. That was awesome.
Gets the fans into it. It makes the show fun for everybody. That was
That was cool. One of the things I definitely remembered from this past week's Raw, which, honestly, I was looking through notes of all the matches that happened on that show beforehand, and I'm like, oh, man, I barely remember that.
Yeah, it was very not eventful.
Want to just get into that match right now, just while we're
what match?
The Cena Ziggler match, just while we're on the
Yeah.
I was hoping Ziggler would get it, because that would get the U.S. title, because that would change the entire, that would change my entire thoughts of the show in general.
Yeah,
if he walked away with that belt.
Yeah,
that's something
how we were
old
saying,
Raw would have done.
Yeah, how we were saying, our ratings are the lowest. What do we do? Bring back in old guys to win. Here's another example. Our ratings are the lowest they've been. Why have what's been going on to get our ratings to this point? Cena's been winning all his matches. Kane's been a prominent figure. Big Show's been a prominent figure. What did they do tonight to change that? Big Show's back on the show again. Kane's on the show again. And Cena wins again. LOL. And not only that, Ziggler hit Cena with literally every fucking move in his book. And Cena just kicks out at everything. Come on.
It happens all the time.
We've been making jokes about this for years. And there's been memes on the internet and everything. Like, a meteor could hit the Earth Earth could just explode entirely, and there will be Cena kicking out at 2 still.
Not even a good kick out of 2. He kicks out like the second the ref says 2. So like he doesn't even like leave you on like the
edge of your seat.
The dude who's kicked out of more 2 counts than anyone in WWE history, you think would be like the best at kicking out at the end, and he's like, oh, the second the ref hits the mat, let me kick out of this so fans don't actually think that I might lose a match.
Right.
But yeah, like Ziggler hits a modified Famouser. He hits the zigzag after scraping his eyes. Like everything, his elbow drops.
I do say,
and nothing. Cena comes up, hits him with 1 AA by Ziggler. Like,
I think he is turning heel though.
well, 2. Ziggler rolled out of the ring.
I think
Heel or heel
Ziggler.
Yeah, he's
I
gonna
hope
turn
so.
heel. He was showing him off at the end of the match. I mean, what you said, the thug to the eye.
Yep.
I mean, I think that should be.
That's
It's something really little, but
well, if you look back, and any real big WWE fan will note, the second people start raking eyes in the WWE, a heel turn is generally
he's
right
got to
on
be.
the
He's got to be
horizon.
doing
Yeah.
it. His hair color's changing. New
Wearing the pants
attire.
and-
Exactly.
Well, that's cool because his Twitter handle will make sense again.
Yeah, heels.
yeah, he is.
I laugh at that every time I go. I check out Twitter.
Yeah.
It's a good Twitter handle.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
If I make a Twitter, it'll be heel my cat probably.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was a good match, but like, it was the same old shit. Cena wins.
Yep.
You
Cena
know?
wins. LOL.
I did want to talk about the New Day at the top of the show when they were explaining what happened the week before, how they just took out everybody.
Yeah.
And, Xavier Woods was just going down the list. We took down the Dudley Boys. We took down Ziggler. And he just yells, we took down John Cena. Like, just imitating the memes. And, not to get even further off topic, but, last year was Randy Orton. This year it's John Cena. Who's the next wrestler that's going to have, like, the biggest meme of 2016?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Probably just like a shovel. The next person Cena buries.
But that honestly was the segment of the night. I mean,
Oh yeah.
luckily
Well,
I caught that live. So
Just see vines of, like, a Cesaro swings or something.
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be fun.
Well, that's what you're saying. Like, as a wrestling fan, you just look for that, gold at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's the New Day right now.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of the New
The
Day,
thing is, I mean, as great as the New Day is, it's so hard to sit through the 3 hours just for them because they're the only good part about the show anymore.
Thank God they started the show off. 'Cause
Really?
then I left. I didn't watch the rest.
oh my God, did you guys see that drawing or that artwork that someone made that, it looked like the Final Fantasy VII cover,
No.
but it was Xavier Woods just holding
Oh,
a
you showed me
trombone
that.
on his back, and
No,
it had
that's
New
right.
Day written in the Final Fantasy font.
Yeah, that was cool. You did show me. You sent me that on
Yeah,
your phone.
that was really cool. That was one of the
Yeah, it
best
was
things
pretty
I saw
sick.
all week.
That was
Yeah.
pretty sick.
But yeah, back into the Ziggler Cena match
That
here.
was
I
hype.
mean, if you want to, like you said, if like it would have fixed the whole Raw for you, if Ziggler would have walked out as U.S. champion,
Want to make Mike's here, guys?
even if it's not, I mean, above anyone else, I would love it for be Ziggler. But even if it's Cesaro comes out or Damien, like what if Damien Sandow just came out? Like, everyone's laughing, like, oh, it's Damien Sandow. And he just comes out and just destroys John Cena. Like, it sounds, it sounds funny, but, like, realistically, think about this. Cena issues an open challenge. Sandow comes out. Everyone's laughing at him, like, oh, he's going to get his ass kicked. He comes down to the ring, and he's old Sandow. He just beats the shit out of John Cena and sends him out so John Cena can take his 2 months out. Like, how much does that do for the mid-card scene in WWE? You have a dude who's fresh, pretty much, because he hasn't been seen in a while. He has all these fresh opponents he can fight against. The U.S. Championship has all this spotlight on it because the dude who has it took, the face of the place, John Cena, out. And
That's way too good, though.
yeah, but no, they'll have Ziggler come out, who loses every goddamn match he's in. He's the Tyler Breeze of the main roster. And
Good match.
he loses. Of course. Oh, every
Cena's match is a
just
good
like
match.
Cesaro. It's just like Cesaro. Every Ziggler match is great. Every Cesaro match is great. They don't do anything with them, though. So it's like...
Where is Cesaro?
Exactly. Losing two tag team matches in the lower mid-card. That's
Big
where he
Show.
is. Yeah. He's
I mean-
getting KO punched by Big Show so he can join with Neville the next week and
I'm
lose the
such a good
match.
Cesaro fan, too.
Same.
It sucks.
It's so hard to watch, dude.
I mean, Sandow, too. I mean, basically the only time you really get to see these mid to low card guys anymore is on Xavier Woods' YouTube channel.
Up, up, down, down.
Or for 2 minutes when they job themselves out to some dude from 1945 on the roster.
Go watch him play Madden, though. That's cool, I guess.
It is actually pretty cool, but yeah. But back to the, I guess, what we were talking about, the New Day?
Well, I was thinking, because we got back on the Cena.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
you
Cena,
know,
right.
Just thinking about something now, just looking at how this week's NXT went, I don't know how far-fetched this idea would be to you guys, but I think Finn Balor might be coming up soon. I'm just getting that feeling because they're having...
No way.
Not yet.
Not until
Not
the
yet.
Apollo Crews match, and they still have to have their rubber match
No,
after that.
When do you think
That's-
he's coming up?
That's what I
the
mean.
question.
Cena's taking time off, and... I mean, who the hell knows? Like, I don't know if they want to rush it or anything. I don't know. I'm probably saying gibberish at this point.
No, that's fine. I'm just curious.
But there's just something, they're setting up the number one. Apollo Crews is the number one contender. Him and Balor will have a match. Yeah, it doesn't make that much sense to put the belt on Crews that fast.
I disagree, but yeah.
That could open up the window.
Yeah, they
for
did it with Owens.
They did it with
For Balor
Owens, so.
that could open up the window for Balor to come up and just accept the open challenge, and he can have the huge intro and everything as his
That
debut.
sound-
I feel like this is a rub for Cruz, which I've been saying for the WWE title. Have a young guy go against the world champion and have a great match, and that's what's going to happen.
Like we were saying though, but they won't do it.
Exactly, but this is what NXT does though.
They'll put an old aging superstar back in the mix. But anyway, what you're saying,
Yeah.
Nick,
It's just kind
That-
of a fantasy booking
well,
idea.
It would make sense. I would probably agree with you if Apollo Crews versus Finn Balor happened already, or it was scheduled to happen before Cena's leave. But it's not, so I don't think Cena will leave. Like, I don't think it'll happen before Cena leaves, so I don't think it'll happen
That's
now.
the thing too. The fact that he's taking time off says he's going to lose that belt,
Yeah.
because 2 months with him holding on to that belt without doing anything would be awful.
Oh, and I'm sure when he leaves, it's
It's
gonna be
not-
awful too. It's not like he's gonna. I would probably put my life on the line if
That said, it's not far-fetched that he takes 2 months off still holding the belt.
yeah.
Because
It
that's been
definitely
done
happen.
before.
Yeah,
That kind of stuff's been done before.
If they're gonna let anyone do it, it'll be Cena.
yeah.
But I would probably put my life on the line, literally saying that when Cena goes out, the logical thing, like I just said, doesn't have to be Sandow, but someone comes out and just destroys John Cena. Like
That's what I gotta think is
like
gonna
Brock
happen.
Lesnar SummerSlam just eviscerates John Cena, and people, oh well, that's the top guy in the company. Anyone just can't come out and beat him up. People don't just do it all the time. So when it happens every now and again, it's fucking crazy. Like when Kevin
Lesnar
Owens did
destroyed
it.
him, that was amazing.
Yeah, or when Kevin Owens beat him.
Yeah.
For the one time that he made him tap out. But anyway, you have someone come out and takes John Cena out, and the whole picture's changed. But when he goes out,
Yeah.
he's probably just going to go out on some fluke loss that doesn't make him look bad, like always.
Right.
And then the title will be devalued because the person.
Is
Shit,
basically
yeah.
cheated or
Yeah.
had to get help or something.
Yep, that's what they'll do. I'd probably put my life on it.
But the Cruz Baylor match, it's like I said before, but yeah.
And I mean, you guys brought up Kevin Owens already. He did still have the NXT title when he challenged Cena. So,
Yeah,
True.
I mean,
I just
Balor
doubt it.
could
I
still
think-
make the surprise.
but Baylor's like a mega face, and Cena's a
I kind
mega
of
face.
I have a
And, I mean, that's been done before too.
I kind of have a feeling when Baylor's going to debut, but I want to keep that to myself. But
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be like a Cena Open
Yeah.
challenge. They have big plans for him because I remember reading reports they have big plans for him and Owens. I feel like
Like I
this could be
said-
a little bit more
like I
historical.
said,
How
No
much
base-
is Owens' big plans?
No basis to this idea.
I'll argue that.
It's just
Yeah.
fantasy booking on my part, I
Ah, yeah.
guess. But I think it would be cool. It's like, who's going to answer the challenge, and then the lights just dim and the smoke comes out, and
Be
he
sweet.
just comes crawling through with the paint and everything, and everyone loses it.
Or we make Mike lose and have a see a Bree Ziggler feud. That'd be pretty good for you, wouldn't it? Have Ziggler be champ and then Breeze.
If any, I would
Breeze
love.
needs to start winning some matches down in NXT before
So
he
Breeze
comes
will,
up.
Breeze will open and answer the challenge this Sunday.
Yeah,
But
next
he'll
Sunday.
lose that.
I can go into that right now, or do we want to separate NXT for later?
Tyler Breeze?
Do we want to go in NXT now, or are we want to wait until we're done Raw here?
Tyler Breeze.
Okay.
Why not?
Tyler Breeze. Here's another guy, just like Dolph Ziggler. And I was about to say, my real dream for those two would be to have a stable with those two together. Like, the blonde, cocky douchebag. Something with them. You could do
It'd
something
be
easy.
fabulous.
Oh, yeah. All the uggos would just crumble. However,
This is when you know he's a true fan.
Ziggler and Tyler Breeze are essentially the same person on different rosters at the moment. And I mean, I would say Tyler Breeze's situation's even worse than Ziggler's because Breeze doesn't have like the legions of fans that Ziggler has yet that it keeps him relevant. Tyler Breeze at that last pay-per-view, like people just weren't like his near falls weren't near falls. Nobody was like, oh, he's not going to beat him.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you had that feeling going.
And then you put him against Samoa Joe. Like, are you fucking kidding? Are you kidding me? Samoa Joe, you're gonna put him against him? Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like, he's not gonna lose that match. Samoa Joe is not gonna lose to Tyler Breeze. So why am I wasting my time buying into this feud when I know damn well at the end of it that Tyler Breeze is going to take a pin or a submission by Samoa Joe.
Were you guys surprised that Apollo Crews won the Battle Royal over Samoa Joe?
Yeah, I was actually very surprised. I'm not like completely against it, but I didn't think it was going to happen.
I actually wasn't surprised, to be honest with you.
I mean, thinking about it now, it does set up a Samoa Joe heel turn. So
I feel like they've been making Cruz a really big deal, so I'm not too shocked that.
I
really
completely
don't.
understand
I will agree.
why.
I will agree, though. I think that Joe should have won.
I
think Joe should have won.
I actually.
But I feel like this is gonna be an in between match before the takeover in London.
I would have put Cruz third on who I actually would have thought Baron Corbin would have won before Cruz too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you were.
Hats off to Baron Corbin
Did you
too.
did
He's
you
been
watch
awesome.
that match?
Yeah.
A lot of Breeze chants.
Yeah.
That guy's he's got a little. I know he's always had a following, but like, I feel like they want to see him get that moment. Like
That's what I'm saying. You can't just keep making him lose. Like that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Because he becomes Ziggler on the main roster. Like Ziggler has all these fans, myself included, that cheer for him no matter what. But even the cheers from someone like myself, they're half-hearted because I know at the end of the day he's not going to win. And with Breeze, it's like the same thing. It's
Here's the thing, though. When that moment does come,
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome.
Oh, it won't be Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 30 level, but it'll be big.
It'll be special.
could be close to Sami Zayn.
And yeah,
Maybe they do something like that with the
I
Bailey
mean-
and Zayn situation. Maybe Breeze starts winning and maybe he's a face or something and starts getting wins after wins and then finally challenges the champion.
Yeah,
Whoever that is.
We gotta hope that they audible. I mean, there's no way I can say that they're planning this. They're not. This
And-
is just. But if they audible and do something like that, hats off. That'll be awesome.
Right.
And I mean, you've seen that NXT can do their shows in huge arenas now. So the Barclays Center and stuff like, they can. You said it won't be a Daniel Bryan level moment, but it can still
Yeah.
be pretty big, especially if they do it in a venue like the Barclays Center.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Let's get back into Raw here because another thing. Let's go with the Divas Revolution that's happening on Raw. Let's get into that. So Brie Bella. How about that match, guys?
That was a thing.
So our WWE Women's Champion or Divas Champion drop kicked, pinned by Brie Bella. So,
I don't want to say.
good job, Divas Revolution. Let's keep going.
Nia
Unless
Jax
unless you
debuted
guys
on
want to.
NXT. That was
Yeah.
a thing.
There's an actual Divas Revolution.
That was a squash match, but whatever.
I have like
felt bad about
one nitpick with Nia Jax. Different attire.
Oh, horrible! It was absolutely terrible. Her old attire is awesome. That
Yeah.
black leather
Yeah.
looking stuff.
Her
If you put her in
digging
something,
the entrance, but it made her like a face. I didn't
Yeah.
like it.
she
Just a little nitpick.
her style was really good though.
Yeah, it
fun
was
to watch,
interesting.
yeah.
Something different from the women's division in NXT. So I like that. I was
Yeah.
digging it.
I get why it was a squash match, but I kind of
Sasquatch.
Sasquatch. But I felt bad for you because when she came out, I'm just like, oh, like the Pokemon.
Oh god. But and then
What else do we have? There's another big Divas.
Naomi and Nikki. It
Yeah.
wasn't not big. Come on, don't say
No,
that.
this wasn't but I wasn't talking about that. But yeah,
Oh yeah, well Naomi and Nikki, and of course, more
Divas Revolution.
Oh, but you put Sasha at ringside, and you show that amazing match at Takeover. Respect. People give her a standing ovation, and you have the match start. Why the hell is she not wrestling?
I have no idea.
What? Why?
Because
Anybody got an answer?
remember what we were talking
Best-
about in the beginning of the show about
No,
incompetent
I know.
booking and
Oh, I
writing?
know.
There you
Oh, I
go.
know.
Then you get Brie Bella. I mean, these two. I don't know if their faces are heels. Like, they're not tweeners.
I don't think it matters.
Who the
But
hell cares?
but it kind of does
Fuck the
because
Bellas.
half the crowd cheers for them for some ungodly reason. I guess because they're watching that stupid Total Diva show. But then the other half's booing them, and then Brie gets on the table and she's
Yeah.
doing the "We Want Nikki" chant, which was just one of the most awkward things I've ever watched. Like that went on entirely too long of her chanting that, or "We Want Sasha" I meant.
Yeah, I know. Well, I did like that she tripped her on the ground.
Yeah, well, that everyone was waiting for that,
Yeah,
but
but
for 10
just,
minutes,
like-
"We want Sasha." Horrible voice.
it's just like it's politics, man. Too like, why are the Bellas winning still? Like, just
'Cause they're
retire.
the stars of Total Diva.
Yeah.
Divas.
Yep. Just retire already. And
Well, did you hear that Eva Marie and Cameron both worked matches with Bailey?
oh shit.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Positive thing from the Divas, other than Nia Jax, is I'm actually kind of excited for Alexa Bliss and Bailey.
Yeah,
I think
that
that could
seems
be pretty
pretty cool.
entertaining. Yeah.
that is interesting.
I don't
That's,
think that's anything Alexa Bliss is going to win on, but
No.
This could-
Alexa Bliss is going to be Bailey's first beat after Sasha
another
Banks,
thing.
but it'll be cool.
It's a good rub off fighting the champion.
Yeah. And
this is good. This is nothing but good for Alexa Bliss here.
Alexa Bliss is definitely one of the NXT prospects that I've been most proud of as a fan, just because of how far she. I mean, she came out as she was like a blue Tinkerbell when she came out. She was throwing fairy dust or glitter or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was fine. Like, I like Alexa Bliss even at that, but the transition that she's made to heel has been awesome.
Yeah, she's really come a long way, honestly.
And her mic work in the ring was pretty good too. Like, it was very cut right to the point.
Well, she's gotten really good ever since she turned heel to begin with. I mean,
and Blake and Murphy, terrible tag team champs, but I like them as
I think I started to dig them after Brooklyn. I'm not a huge fan of them, but they are good workers. And
well, that's what they shouldn't be tag champs. They're good workers, but I like them in the role that they are right now as like enforcers. For Alexa. Right. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, that's a good role for them right now. I totally agree.
Yeah, I'm definitely game with that whole
feud. Yeah,
and it's good for Bayley too, because she's not just going up against Alexa Bliss, who, I mean, on paper, you can't really take size into account in wrestling that often, but on paper, how can Alexa Bliss be the big bad dog taking on Bayley, who's double her weight and triple her size?
Yeah, for sure.
But when you add Blake and Murphy in there, two heel guys who they don't seem above, I wouldn't say attacking a woman like Bayley, but doing something to her in a match, it makes Bayley more of the underdog in distress.
Yeah, you would think there's going to be someone to help Bayley out in this storyline.
Blue pants.
So whenever someone in NXT needs help, Blue Pants is there to say she's like Spider-Man.
Blue Pants.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah, everyone gets one.
Everyone gets one.
But yeah, that's really good for the Divas.
Well, NXT.
Yeah, I just meant women. Women in general.
Wrestling,
that's good. So NXT.
Bayley cut a nice promo before that too. By the way, that was nice.
Yeah, that was
NXT
good.
continues to do good things for the women. Well,
and
WWE
taken by surprise too, because I wasn't ready for Alexa Bliss to come out.
Yeah, neither was I.
So
it was a nice little shocker for sure. I was expecting maybe like Dana Brooke or Asuka.
Yeah.
Speaking of promos, how about Roman Reigns? What do you guys
Bleh.
think about that?
Sucked.
Do you agree with the crowd?
Yes.
He was. Yeah. Here's the thing. He was doing good for a while there. He was really progressing, and now it's just, oh man.
Well, the last 2 episodes of Raw. I mean, the cancer thing, that was all nice, but then it was just awkward. He had to bring in his cheap line, believe that, in a cancer thing.
I mean, for all we know, they're letting him go with it, and he's just not doing anything. But it seems like, again, they're writing material for him. He's coming out there and essentially reading what he was reading backstage.
Oh, it was so obvious, especially the way he was talking.
Yeah, and it doesn't work for him. This old style of booking where people come out and just cut promos and stuff for really long times, it doesn't work if you're not Bray Wyatt. I mean, it's sad to say, but the wrestling fan of today, they're smarter about the business, but as a whole, I feel they're dumber. Like, they can't sit through a storyline as well as a lot of other fans. So when you expect fans in a live arena who want to chant and do all this dumb stuff all the time, you expect them to sit through a 10-minute promo of Roman Reigns stumbling over his words. I mean, what can you expect?
Give him way too much time to talk, especially with this progression. He should not have talked that much.
He should come out and say, Bray Wyatt, you're... in so many words, you're a bitch. You need people
and he was
to help
given,
you. Let's fight it Hell in a Cell.
He was given like a recap of the whole storyline between the two. I'm like, just make a video of it. That's what they've been doing.
That's pretty much why people started hating Seth Rollins as much as they did, because every Raw.
But Roman makes it more obvious, I think.
Yeah.
You mentioned the typical wrestling fan being dumb. I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it feeds back into what we talked about at the beginning of the show with, like, there's nothing really going. There's nothing worth getting invested in.
I know, yeah. I agree with you on that.
On the main show.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for them to buy in when there's nothing good. But I mean, of all the feuds right now, the Wyatt and Reigns is one of the stronger ones. Again, there's not much story into it other than
anybody.
Strowman helps.
Anybody but you.
Yeah, there's not much story other than Bray screwed him over at Money in the Bank. However, that's one of the stronger ones. So if fans were to tune into something, you'd figure that would be one of them. At least myself.
And I feel like that when they fight at Hell in a Cell, that's gonna be a really good match.
Yeah, and again, as we were saying earlier, it's not the wrestlers usually that we're bitching about here. It's the people behind the wrestlers.
Yep.
It's the stuff they have to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, yeah. So going outside the show, I did want to talk about Paul Heyman. He did an interview with Sports Illustrated where he talked about CM Punk a little bit. We know by this point that his UFC debut has been pushed back because of injury.
Yeah.
And I thought the interview with Heyman was interesting because he actually voiced, he said a lot of good things about Punk, but he also said a lot of things that kind of voice a lot of the reservations people have about CM Punk going into MMA, and I thought that was really interesting. And he also commented on a possible WWE return, and Heyman just said straight up, as of right now, no way that's happening.
Yeah.
And again, that's the general consensus. So what do you guys think of that?
I don't really have much of an opinion on that, but
Well,
I
you're
can't
not a
wait to
big
see.
CM Punk
Can't
fan.
wait to see CM Punk get his teeth kicked down his throat when he is an idiot and steps in the ring with a professional fighter. You're a fake fighter, dude. You fought in the indies for a bunch of years and you got a black belt in jiu-jitsu, whatever the hell you did. You're not a real MMA fighter. These guys have been training and some of them since they were like 5 years old to kick your goddamn head in, and you're gonna complain about concussions and you can't remember parts of your life.
Or missing spots.
You're gonna say, I'm gonna walk out on WWE and all the fans who love me before my contract's up because I can't remember parts of my life. I'm fine with that, dude. If you legitimately can't remember parts of your young adult life, get the hell out of wrestling. You shouldn't be there anymore. Your brain's your first priority. But for you to say that and then you to go into the UFC, where you're getting like trained killers essentially to literally their goal is to kick and punch you in the head, you're an asshole. Like
submission moves and
you're a
just
complete
destroy.
asshole, and I write you off as a human being. Like I can't wait to see that guy get decimated.
Okay, Steve, you like CM
I
Punk.
really like CM Punk. So
Give me the opposition to that.
I can see his points for sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
Just
don't
with
blame
his
you.
explanation.
If you're a fan of the guy,
No,
you're
I'm-
a fan of the guy. I
I'm
can't
a-
fault you for that.
I'm
But
I'm a huge fan of Punk. I mean, he's like really big fan, and I really was upset when he left.
as a
And
wrestler,
as a wrestler.
yeah.
I'm just excited for him. I want to see what he does. I mean, obviously, he's not going to be the best in the world in UFC. Oh, cheap plug there for this promo thing, but I didn't mean that. But he's just. I just can't wait to see him on TV again. But that's just coming from a Punk fan. I just want to see what he does.
Well,
and he's probably going to get his ass kicked. Probably.
That's where like a lot of my like rage for him comes from, and I was never the biggest CM Punk fan. However, like how I just said, you're like, oh, I really just want to see him on TV again. The dude still had so much time on his contract, and he was one of those guys who always bitched about, these old guys don't put the new guys over, they take up time. All right, CM Punk, if that's what you really believe, when I'm done with wrestling. Put someone over and go out the right way. Go out on the end of your contract, have one last little run, and then you go out, you give the fans closure. Instead, he's a scumbag and walks out on everyone who supported him.
His contract was up in June, so he didn't have that many years left.
I mean, he still had some time left to put someone over and go
Yeah.
out the right. That's what I'm saying.
But he was originally scheduled to fight Triple H and shit like that.
He just went out the wrong way, and it just
Oh, no,
it
I
was
totally
a complete
agree.
disrespect to the people that
Would you
got
compa-
him to where he was.
Would you compare it to Austin though? Because Austin kind of did
similar,
Austin kind of did
similar,
the same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, similar. But with Austin, he realized his faults rather quickly and admitted to it.
Yeah.
And CM Punk
But I feel like
is
not
doing
Punk.
that.
I feel like Punk does have some valid points about him leaving. But there are some other points like I just
It all-
completely disagree with.
That's what I'm saying. It's not what he left for. I agree, like all the medical attention and stuff like that. But it just goes back to the fans. Like it's such a slap in the face of the fans what he did as a wrestler, and then as a person. Outside of that, for you to say I'm going out because of concussions, and then you signing up for the UFC, you're just a douchebag. Like there's no other.
Well, he also had a pretty bad case of MRSA too.
That's what he just
Yeah,
he just
he did.
complained about this these medical injuries, and then you're gonna go in the UFC afterwards.
I mean, he's not the
Like,
youngest.
get the hell out of here, dude.
He's not the youngest cat in the world either.
Yeah, what is he, 36?
He's going
about-
into his late 30s
He's about
now.
to turn 37.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Have fun with that, dude. I hope you get put in there with some 21-year-old kid who's just gonna destroy you.
Well, that was the thing that bothered me about his UFC announcement too, because he announced it December of
It was like
2013?
it was like after Thanksgiving. If I'm not sure,
This past year or
last year.
last year?
Yeah, last year.
So 2014.
Yeah, it
All right.
was like the end of 2014. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to this summer and he's training. We knew that, but no word of who he was going to fight or
What weight
when.
division he was going to be in?
We knew that.
Oh, I thought he was
I-
like teasing it, like he doesn't know, he wasn't sure yet, but whatever.
I thought they did. I mean, the most we got was his official portraits for UFC.
Yeah, right.
That go up on the website.
Mhm.
But you never. The closer we got, because they announced these fights so far out.
Yeah.
Due to weigh-ins and promotion and training.
Yep.
You didn't hear anything. You didn't even hear who his opponent could possibly be. So
I think
even
good.
pre-injury, I was doubting that he was going to be ready to go by December.
Well,
because
even
there's just still a lot left out there. And forgive me if I'm wrong. I haven't paid attention to UFC in like the last 2 or 3 years.
yeah,
So
What injury did Punk get? Sorry to cut you off.
I have no idea.
Do you know, Nick?
I don't care enough about him.
I know. Do you know?
I just remember that he was injured right now.
Okay,
I don't know
I
off the top of my
didn't-
head.
okay,
I'm sorry.
When he came initially into the UFC, there's another like just stupidity. He literally came out in one of his press like interviews and said like, I essentially have no striking game. Like I can't like I'm a ground and
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So you're a 36-year-old first time fighter with no striking game that you've been probably training for the past couple months and now you're injured, so you have to do rehab. The person, people always, I see this all the time. People are like, oh, Dana White's going to give him some scrub to fight, so he's their bait. That's so not true. If you look at the history of, look at Brock Lesnar, perfect example. Brock Lesnar,
Wasn't his first fight against Frank Mir?
No, it wasn't his first fight. Just some Asian guy, I forget his
Oh,
name.
okay.
But there you go. I mean, Brock Lesnar comes in, the WWE guy. He gets put up against Randy Couture, one of the greatest champions in UFC history.
The greatest fighters
Frank
ever.
Mir, when he was at the top of his game. Frank Mir.
Shane Carwin.
Alistar Overeem, like all these monsters. So
Carwin, too.
So people saying they're gonna give CM Punk a crap opponent, get the hell out of here. You
not gonna
have
happen.
no basis in that. That's
Yeah.
such a false opinion.
That's just the Punk fans hoping he gets a win.
But it goes even more into like the scare factor for Punk into this. The person that they put Punk against is gonna have like the entire UFC world on his back. And like.
You think so? No.
100% think you're gonna let this outsider come into our world and
Well,
beat you.
Do you
like
remember
that?
Brock's reaction? The reaction he got when he came out? No, you
Well,
don't know.
Couldn't tell you off the top of
he
my head.
has done interviews since about his training and just general acceptance in the UFC so far, and he does have guys that are willing to help him and stuff. It's not everyone in that company is against him, so he does have some stuff going for him.
I don't mean just the
It's
UFC.
not-
I just meant the fighting world as like a whole. Like
Okay.
if you're a trained fight, like a professional fighter, and some random guy walks in off the street says, "Hey, I'm gonna do this just because I'm famous." Naturally, you're probably gonna be against him. You're gonna want to fight
I
for
don't
the
think
guy.
that was the mindset, though.
I would. I know a lot of fighters posted on Twitter like right afterwards, like kind of damning CM Punk. I couldn't cite any
But-
exact
Right,
sources,
I mean,
but
we talked about Brock Lesnar going right into the UFC, and I just do want to bring up, Brock Lesnar is kind of an exception. He is a scary human being, and
He's a freak athlete.
He does have collegiate wrestling in his background. Like, this guy knows what he has to do.
and,
Yeah.
I mean, this is just. I fully admit this because I just hate CM Punk that I have this opinion, but
He could
it just seems like CM Punk's like, oh, well, Brock did it, so I can come do it.
I'm
gonna
Brock
give-
is a legitimate badass. Brock is one of the like scariest human beings.
The,
like,
the thing about Lesnar, too, is he could probably still be in UFC right now
Oh,
had he not had a hole in his stomach.
he could have went
Yeah.
back right after
After
WrestleMania.
winning, yeah.
He could 100% still be fighting. I don't think he would have a long fighting career because he's also not a young
Yeah.
man in the fighting world.
He's 38 too now.
Yeah, in the
so.
fighting world, he's not a young man. But
And with CM Punk going in, I don't think anyone expected to have him be matched up against their top guy right away.
Oh,
I don't
God,
think
no.
that's what anyone.
that'd be so funny if he came in. They're like, "Oh, you're fighting Conor McGregor." Like, have
Oh
fun.
my God! Imagine the promotion for that. The Smack Talk.
That would be pretty epic.
Oh, that would
like-
be
It would
amazing.
be like a WrestleMania build. Like,
I would definitely buy that for sure.
can you imagine if they gave Conor McGregor CM Punk his first? That would be so funny. Like, oh my God,
Yeah, it would be good.
It'd be like putting like Muhammad Ali in there with like me after like a couple months of boxing training.
That would be funny, but I'm just hopeful that Punk, maybe does okay there. I mean, I don't see him doing too well, honestly. And I'm a huge Punk fan, but I don't see him doing too well in that
Yeah.
UFC.
We got into a pretty deep tangent there. What do we forget about Raw? I know we haven't.
Stupid Kane.
One thing I wanted to bring up. Shout out to the Dudleys for that Doomsday device.
Oh
That was
yeah,
awesome.
that
Yeah.
was awesome. That was a shades of LOD there.
Yeah.
that was pretty.
It was funny saying it against the Ascension too, because everyone always says the Ascension's the new.
LOD.
Yeah, so it was funny seeing them hit it
Yeah,
on them.
that was cool.
But-
That's pretty ironic when you think
Shout
about
out
it.
to the Dudleys. That's
Didn't
the kind
really.
of stuff.
I didn't really think of that when after I saw it too. That was funny.
Yeah, shout out to the Dudleys. That's the fun stuff that we want to see.
Yeah.
There was the conference call thing with Kane.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No,
Nope.
we got to talk about that whole angle. So
Ugh.
Kane starts off the show. I think we already said Triple H and Steph are late or whatever for some stupid reason. They're billionaires and they can't get a reception on the phone.
And they kind of own the show. Why are they there already?
But yeah,
Because that makes sense.
They
right,
probably
guys?
were somewhere backstage.
Because that makes sense, right?
Kane's running the show. Here's a perfect example of these crap storylines that we were talking about earlier. Just so obvious what's going to happen. Whole show, he's booking Kane versus Seth Rollins. He keeps throwing Steph and Triple H off his scent. For some reason, they can't figure out what's happening on their own show, wherever the hell they are. But whatever, I'll look past it.
Just the other thing is like when Kane opens Raw. I mean, that's just the feeling Raw's not going to be good tonight at all. Seriously,
just like a giant fart just comes out of your TV and envelops.
This is what I'm getting tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving me a heads up.
But anyway, he books him versus Rollins in one of the most boring gimmick matches in WWE, the Lumberjack. Bunch of mid-carders stand around the ring and they beat someone up when they fall out. Ambrose and Rollins.
I was about to say that match.
Yeah.
That was the best lumberjack match I've ever seen.
One of the only good lumberjack matches. But anyway, Seth Rollins versus Kane.
Because that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks before the pay-per-view, let's just give away the main match.
Because he was promoting. Oh, it's gonna be Corporate Kane. I just hate how they put the label there now. Mm-hmm. Demon Kane. You got to be freaking kidding. That gets me so mad.
The only label I want to see is the Big Red Machine, not Demon Kane.
That's all I want to see.
I want to see old Kane.
But
anyway, the obvious happens. He is banned from ringside. He's like, I'll get an actual competitor. I wonder who it's going to be.
Joseph Park 2.0.
Good writing there. Good writing there. Writing staff, you really threw us for a curve there.
Did you hear, too, that Steph's part in the whole flight thing was apparently a jab at Paige for tweeting about awful service on a flight?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good job.
Good politics there.
Good job, WWE corporate. Try and hurt your roster.
Something about the stewardess not helping Rosa Mendes with her bag, which I forgot Rosa Mendes was still part of the roster.
I wish you wouldn't have said her name because I wish I still would have forgot that she was
part of the kind of just threw up in my mouth.
I thought she was on leave because she was pregnant. I didn't even know she was like still part. I knew she's on that show, right? Total Divas?
Yeah.
I got one for you guys.
I don't really watch the show, but she is.
I thought she was just like generally gone.
I got one for you guys. You got to see either of these two every single week on wrestling in some role. Eva Marie or Rosa Mendes.
No.
You have to pick.
No.
You have to pick.
Oh, that's like...
Just two of the biggest turds in women wrestling history.
Dude, I can't even answer that.
I'd rather listen to Vicky Guerrero just screech for.
So wait, what are my choices?
Eva Marie or Rosa Mendes?
Oh.
Can I just leave the TV on the background and go do something else?
Suicide an option.
Oh, all right, that's going way too far.
I'll pick Eva Marie just because she's better looking, and that's so hard.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with her too.
This is mean. This is a mean question.
No, it's not. They suck.
Yeah, if you want to put yourself out in the public spotlight, you're gonna have to deal with criticism.
They are garbage.
I think I'd have to go with Eva Marie too.
Yeah.
It kills me to do that, though. I'm telling you, I'm
trying so hard not to.
I'd rather take the easy way out on this one.
Yeah, that was not a good question, Mike. But back to what were we talking about? It's Rollins and Kane?
Yeah, Rollins and Kane.
And that whole angle with putting themselves in the main event, the lumberjack match.
Trash,
garbage.
Demon Kane comes out.
Yeah.
What do you know? What we were talking about before. Our WWE champion gets pinned. Oh, yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and like 2 weeks before. Remember? And then Sting beat him the week before Night of Champions. Just giving away the result. It's... Oh, God, it's so bad. You could do Cesaro. Like, I've been preaching this. Like, Rollins Cesaro. If you're having Lesnar and Taker for this pay-per-view, I'll say it like 500 times and I don't care. Do that match because it'll put Cesaro over. He's not going to win. And like we all know, Kane, there's no goddamn chance. And I swear to God, if this happens at Survivor Series, not watching the pay-per-view.
Dude, sir.
Can I pose a question to you guys?
So hard for Cesaro.
How much longer do you think Seth will hold on to the belt?
Mania.
Yeah, Mania.
He's going to carry it all the way to Mania?
Yeah.
I could see Sheamus cashing in at Money in the Bank, like the next Money in the Bank.
If Sheamus wins, oh my God, no, that's a whole.
Oh my God,
that's a whole. I don't even want to get into that right now.
Oh my God.
We're getting pretty deep into this, and I could shit on Sheamus as Money in the Bank winner for such a long time.
We'll save that for another time.
Yeah, let's
see it play out.
That might be a podcast out of nowhere. The worst Money in the Bank winners, and Sheamus is.
Your reaction was priceless there. Oh my God.
But just looking at Seth Rollins' title reign, like, yeah, probably till Mania, but there's just something about the whole thing where I look at it and go, and just go, I can't see him holding it all the way to Mania with the way things are
Well,
going.
that's
right
when
now.
they'll pull a damn swerve.
And
That's when Sheamus will freaking.
That's been his whole, that's been his whole character as like a champion. Like up until this point, it's like, oh, there's no way he's gonna survive Sting. There's no way he's gonna survive Lesnar, and he does. And
Cena.
Yeah, that's
and
a
it's
good
like,
point.
and after the fact, if you just say that, it's like, oh, that sounds good. But then when you look at how he actually managed to do it, it takes away any credibility from him as champion. That's where my whole thing with Rollins is. It's like he just has no credibility. You can't look back at Rollins and be like, damn, he just dominated him. That's why he should be champion. Like, no. They even took away his goddamn curb stomp. Like, on the, the icing
hurt.
on the crap cake that has been the booking of Seth Rollins.
That
as a
did hurt him,
champion.
though, when
they give him one of the most boring finishers in WWE history if it's not done by Triple H in the pedigree.
Yeah.
And you take away one of, honestly, I might be over exaggerating just because I didn't get it long, but one of my favorite finishers in WWE history in that curb stomp. That thing was awesome.
It was awesome.
You know, it was a move that can be, technically, it should be set up because the guy has to be on his hands and knees, but it's one where he can pull it from any point of the move. You know, he could be jumping off the top rope and boom, hit you in the back of the head and you're done.
That would be pretty
The
sweet.
best too was when Orton reversed it into an RKO.
Greatest RKO.
RKO ever.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Getting to see that live was pretty sweet.
All right, well, we're well past an hour now. How about we wrap this up?
Yeah, it's been an hour of just hate, just seething out of my veins.
Some good stuff though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
say about like 50 minutes of hate, 10 minutes of positivity.
I'll tell you what, the one positive thing, I'm excited for tomorrow night, Austin Lesnar podcast.
Yeah,
that
really
should be
excited.
hype. That should tell us some things
Actually,
maybe about Mania.
By the time this is released, it'll probably be tonight.
Yeah, so
Future Steve, Mike, and Nick are very happy tonight.
I hope maybe there's a tease.
Hopefully. We still have to sit through 3 hours of Raw before.
Oh, screw that! I'm watching the damn Eagles. Honestly, I mean, that game's more important than
We might have to check some Raw recaps instead
Yeah,
of
on
watch the
YouTube.
goddamn show.
That just shows how bad Raw is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Nick can't even say anything about it.
I'm trying to close out the show.
I won't let you.
And that's the
hate will
Smark
continue
Show.
to come.
Anyway,
Stop being Michael Cole, damn it! Come on, be Jim Ross, man. Just show those. Yeah, there you go.
well, ladies and gentlemen,
There you go. There you go. That's a start. It's a
This has
start.
been episode 10 of the Smark Show. I'm Nick Tricombe. To my right is Mike Capuano. And to my left is Steve Herman, even though you can't see that. That was completely irrelevant. Anyway, you can listen to us on SoundCloud and YouTube. The past 2 episodes haven't been on SoundCloud. That is all on me. This episode will be on SoundCloud and YouTube, as always.
One thing I wanted to bring up, I completely forgot about it. We were thinking about possibly doing like a Twitch stream for when WWE comes out.
2K16.
Yeah, the new WWE. We just wanted to know if
Oh,
you
we've
guys
mentioned
had...
that before.
We have?
We have?
Yeah, I don't think we have on the show. I know we've talked about it
We've
before.
mentioned the idea of live
But either
streams.
way, if we haven't, bringing it up again, we would just like some opinions on if anyone's interested in that. We were thinking about, doing like a story mode or something with the game and streaming it on Twitch.
Or just like the dream matches we talked about on our recent episode as well.
Yeah, so if you guys have any opinions on that, if you think it would be a good idea or something better, let us know.
Yeah.
We also built a website, nothing too big, just a simple WordPress site. It's not quite ready yet, just some last minute tweaks I want to do before it goes live, but that should be ready to go by middle of this week at the latest.
Yeah, we'll be posting, hopefully we'll be posting, just little articles that we think a lot of the things that you'll hear on here, we'll just get a chance to ramble more freely
Just some
on
of
them.
our rants and stuff.
We'll be possibly booking our own WWE fantasy universe, so that'll be pretty cool.
And of course, all the episodes of the podcast will go up on there as well.
Yep.
For
sure.
Other than that, like this episode if you enjoyed it. Didn't have as much structure as previous episodes. We just kind of wanted to spitball on this one. So let us know if you like that format in the comments, and also share your thoughts on the last week of wrestling as well. You can also find us on Twitter too. I'm at It's Nick. Steve.
Steven Hermanton. That's where you can follow me.
Cab, do I have to ask?
You can follow me at Heel Ziggler.
Good
That-
promotion.
That's not how it works.
Shout out to you, Dolph. I just got you possibly 13 new followers.
But, yeah. Other than that, that'll do it for us. Episode 10. We made it to double digits.
Woo!
Yay.
Woo woo woo.
I don't have my phone on me, so I can't go out with the horn one more time, but outro music.
See you guys.
See you next week.